Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy today because now we are resuming Chucky season 3. We are in Chucky season 3 part 2. This is a long awaited review that I have been literally dreaming about doing. I just couldn't wait. Like I remember, the last episode of season 3 part 1, when that ended, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't release the next episode like next Halloween, and they did it. They've released the first episode last week, so I definitely did watch it, and now we're going to review it. And the name of this episode is called Death Becomes Her. I have Chucky here. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge him, but here he is. He is very much alive and present. He just chooses not
to say anything.
He doesn't talk much because he's having a lot of issues. Like, he's getting older. He doesn't like it very much. I know he doesn't look it right now, but this is an
illusion.
Do not be fooled, okay?
He's very much alive.
Sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. Sure.
We are going to get right into this review. I did take notes. There is a lot that I needed to take in through watching this episode. And I have to say, the intro, the title card comes on. That's really sick, amazingly sick intro into this episode. But I mean, this episode as a whole, I feel like it's a great start, transitional beginning for this part of season 3. I feel like it's a good setup for what is to come for this part of season 3. I am a little scared. I'm afraid because I have a feeling that a lot of people are gonna die. Some very important characters are gonna die. I mean, I can just feel it after watching this first episode, and I'm hoping.
No, I have no hope. It's hopeless. It's hopeless now.
I did mention in one of those videos I made like last year that Devin's gonna die. I can just feel it. Either Jake or Devin's gonna die, or both. I don't know.
I do feel like Devin is still gonna die in part 2 of season 3 of this season.
It would be so insane if Chucky just killed all the main characters. I know that's not gonna happen.
It can't happen, right? Right.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to find out. And we're gonna get right into this review. Right now, Chucky, he's up in age. He's aging rapidly, all right? And he can't do anything about it because Damballa kicked him out of the cult or whatever. just kind of abandoned him, and he's kind of at a crossroads. But something tells me that Chucky's gonna find a way to get out of this. He's gonna find a way to survive in some crazy way. And I just can't wait to see how. We're starting with the president, James. He is experiencing some supernatural things going on in the White House. So he kind of getting like a speech to the people, to the public about, the crazy events that happened in part 1 of season 3 at the Halloween Gala when everyone died. Not everyone, but whoever was standing right up under that chandelier there. He is seeing his son. And I'm not talking about Henry, I'm talking about Joseph. Joseph, the youngest son of this presidential family who has been mentioned a lot in this season and who has died in some mysterious way. We don't even know how he died, but he died, and his spirit is in the White House, and he's kind of, I don't want to say haunting his father, but he's making himself known. James is seeing him. This really freaks him out. He's like kind of having an episode, a moment. So that is presented in the beginning of this episode. So I'm very interested to see where they're going to go with the ghostly side of this season, because I don't know how many of people caught on to this after watching part 1 of season 3, but it was actually foreshadowed that this was going to have a supernatural element, which really, and if we're being honest, the Chucky franchise has always had an underlying supernatural tone to it, because Chucky himself is a supernaturally possessed doll, and he's a ghost. He's a ghost that's like animating this doll, that's like kind of taking a physical manifestation inside this doll, who's possessing this doll, and that is supernatural. He's dead, but he's not. He's dead, but he isn't. It's not like he's ceasing to exist. He's very much still alive, but he's dead. Like his physical human.
You guys get it. You get it. You get what I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna ramble more on it. I feel like you guys understand. You guys get it.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go, where the supernatural tone of this part of season 3, where this is gonna go, but I feel like it's going to get better, because in the trailer pretty much exposed enough and kind of like gave us a real insight into what this season is headed towards, supernaturally speaking. Brad Dourif.
Yes, Brad Dourif
is returning
to the screen.
He's playing his human self. I figure he's gonna play like the human spirit of Chucky. It's not really obvious, but it shows it in the trailer that there are other hims. There's the younger version of him that Fiona Dourif played in the flashbacks in season 1. We have teenage Chucky, and then we have a little boy Chucky. So we're seeing like those different stages of his life in spiritual form, if that's the best way I can explain it, really. And I feel like that is such a unique way to present this. And Chucky is gonna die. He's gonna pass over to the spirit realm, but something's gonna happen along the lines of I don't know what. So, but that's definitely gonna happen because Brad Dourif was in the trailer. So something like to that extent is gonna happen later in this episode. The private investigator Price, he shows Charlotte, who is the president's wife, he shows her a video of their son, Joseph, who was at the Halloween gala. He shows her a video, and she kind of acts like she doesn't, I get the feeling that she cares, but she's deflecting, like she doesn't want to believe that was him. Or I don't know. Immediately when she saw that, I feel like she should have automatically told her husband what she saw, but how, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she's so hesitant on telling him. So she kind of drags it along throughout this episode too. She kind of makes him feel like he's going crazy, and like that what he's seeing is all in his head. And I just hate when characters do that. Like if you know something,
speak up, say something,
so that your partner, he's not left twisted in the wind because you know something. You saw what he saw. It's just wrong, it's just wrong. But this is what she does. So we get to Jake, Devin, and Lexi, who are still apparently at this hotel that Miss Fairchild had rented out for them, I guess. And Miss Fairchild is dead. So like, who's paying for the hotel? Like, well, how are they allowed to stay there? How are they? I don't know. Maybe there's an explanation. But obviously, sometimes, most times in this franchise, things are left up to our imagination to really just like put pieces together and be like, okay, well maybe they were left over some extra money to pay. I don't know. I kind of can appreciate the fact that not all that stuff is explained, because really realistically it would be important to know how they are staying there, but in a way this show is not as realistic. It's not. it's so unserious, and it's so, but at times it's serious too, but other times it's not serious, which is a weird sort of blend, but it works for me. It works for me. So I'm fine with not knowing, it's fine, because it's not really the central idea of the story anyway, but it would add to, to know like how are these kids staying here. But anyway, the trio, Jake, Devin, and Lexi, they're kind of forming a plan to have Lexi talk to Grant after the little falling out in the last part of season 3. Jake and Devin are kind of encouraging Lexi to go after Grant and convince him to allow Jake and Devin to come back to the White House or whatever to find Chucky and kill him, which, something tells me it's not going to go down like that.
But
we go to decrepit Chucky lying in the bed. He's all sickly. He's on his deathbed. I should probably have him lying down, right? He's not feeling good.
What?
Oh, he wanted me to send him back up. He doesn't like to be treated like an old person, okay? Even though he is aging and he is, I see a gray hair right here. That's so insane. Okay. Yeah. Chucky said that he's mentally young and his heart is young. I appreciate that. I can relate to that too, you know?
He just cussed me out just now. I'm sorry. Like, he didn't want me to lay him down just now.
Okay. I get it. Relax. I get it. Okay.
I'm blocking him out right now. We're gonna move on with this review.
The maid comes in the room, and which is pretty much more prey for Chucky. He replaces bleach with whatever she's drinking in this canister or whatever. She dies.
From bleach poisoning.
And it's really horrendous. I gotta say, the deaths in this episode are really, really great.
Dark.
This death, where she's like choking on her own blood and everything. You know, Chucky just kind of watches her die, and he's like, oh gosh, what's the point anymore? Why am I even doing this anymore? I'm old. He's saying he lost his drive and his thrill to do it, to kill, and the excitement that I guess for him comes with killing. So
that's yeah.
We see an existentialism thing going on with Chucky, where he's kind of just questioning everything about his life and how feeling like killing people was his purpose in life. And he's kind of just questioning all that. And it's really funny to see that. I feel like that's a really great grip on his psyche. The writers are definitely having fun with Chucky in this part of the season, but something tells me things are gonna just get really dark really fast. And really by the end of this episode, I could feel that tone, like the dark tone rise a little bit. And I'm gonna get to the end of the episode really fast, but we still have a lot to talk about before we get there. So somehow Jake and Devin finds Chucky's doctor, Dr. Rosen. Yeah, Jake and Devin end up finding him on the dark web somehow, and they go to see him. They're basically just questioning him, like trying to get information on how to kill Chucky, like for good. And the doctor's kind of reluctant at first, but he does tell them that Chucky is in fact really dying. Like it's not a thing where he dies and just comes back to life anymore. No, he's really dying. So the doctor pretty much, bottom line, just advises them to not follow him anymore, because he's right, and I agree with this doctor. Like, and I feel like Jake and Devin should listen, but something tells me they're not gonna listen, and that's what's gonna lead to somebody dying. And I'm scared. I don't want to see that. But
I'm gonna see it.
I know I also have to for review's sake. So the doctor just warns them, like, y'all can't pursue him anymore. Y'all gonna end up dead. Okay, this guy is dangerous, but you know they're not gonna listen. They're gonna continue to follow him and try to kill him, and which it's gonna backfire. I already know it is. I'm really afraid for them. Like,
No liar. I'm scared.
There's always been kind of like moments in this show that kind of made us kind of be on the edge a little bit, but also it would snap us right back to having fun. And I love that. That's a great balance for me. Henry, who's kind of tended to Chucky, as he's tended to Chucky, there's a scene where he sees Teddy's death. And this goes back to what I was talking about before about the supernatural element of this season. I like how they're really playing into it, and they're going for it. Like I also like how like the writers are not afraid to kill off certain people. They're really bold with the deaths. Some deaths I feel like shouldn't have happened, like Miss Fairchild. It surprised me when she died. Like, it really surprised me. I already had like preconceived like suspicion about her character since season 1, but I guess killing her just kind of confirms, okay, she wasn't really crazy, or she wasn't on Chucky's side or anything. So the deaths, I have to say, the writers who are kind of constructing how these people are not only their deaths, but like how they are going to be killed by Chucky. I feel like they're very unique and creative, very inventive, but I just don't want them to kill Devin. I don't want them to kill Jake either. Definitely stay away from Andy and Kyle, because I'm going to be done. I'm telling you, I'm going to be done if they're knocked off the list. Okay. Talk about seriously quitting the show if they kill Andy and Kyle. I'm not even joking. We all remember how Teddy died in part 1 of season 3. We remember how Chucky blew his head off, and Henry sees his, I don't even know how else to explain it, you guys, but like he sees his ghost in like death form. Like he sees
his death. Like I don't know how else to explain it.
I don't know why this is happening either. I don't know if it has something to do with like Diamond City sort of like alluding to the fact that the White House has been rumored to be haunted in real life, and so he's kind of like playing into that with the White House in this show. I don't know if that's why all of a sudden they're able to see these people dying in the White House, like they're ghosts and everything. I don't know if that's the case here. It could be, or it could just, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that Chucky's dying, so that they're seeing all of he's dying in the White House, and he's, they're seeing, it's timing, I guess, is good timing to like, for all of them to see the people that he's killed and how they died.
In this White House.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It's very interesting what they're doing there, but I don't know if I can pinpoint why that's happening. Like, why are they seeing them? Why is Henry seeing Teddy die? Like, I don't understand. Charlotte, she has a little talk with Grant, her oldest son, about Lexi, how he felt about Lexi kind of using him to get into the White House to find Chucky. She basically just has a little talk with him saying, don't let this girl get into your head, don't let her manipulate you, don't let her use you again. And I don't feel like Lexi's intentionally using him. I think she actually likes him, but she is just looking for Caroline, her little sister. So that is her motivation really through all this, is to find her sister. His mother told him to be wary of Lexi. Something tells me that like Grant doesn't care because he likes her so much. So like love is blind, and we all know that the little saying of, he doesn't want to hear anything. So he doesn't want to hear anything his mother is saying, really. But I really like Grant and Lexi together. I do. I feel like they could get along after everything is over. Like if they survive this, I feel like they could work, because they both have something in common in terms of grief and, losing people close to them. So that's really what's made them connect on a deep level, and I like that sort of foundation. I really like the foundation they're setting for Lexi and Grant here. I've been a really big fan of that. They do meet up, and Lexi, she does ask Grant if Jake and Devin can come back into the White House and everything, and they kind of make up. And something tells me, Grant is going to also find out that Chucky is alive. Well,
more or less.
That he is, talking dolls. So something tells me Grant's gonna find that out eventually. And I actually can't wait till that happens, because him being left in the dark, I feel like at some point he is gonna know and has to find out eventually. James tells his wife that he saw their son, the ghost of their son. And, obviously she deflects when he tells her that he saw him. The wife is really frustrating the mess out of me right now. Like, I just wish she would just spill her guts. I wish she would just tell her husband what she's been experiencing with this PI. She needs to tell him everything. I know she doesn't know who's doing it
yet.
She's definitely gonna find out, I feel like, in the next couple episodes. But
she needs to tell her husband. I would say this. She needed to tell her husband. She needed to. Now it's too late.
I'm jumping ahead, but
it's too late. 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 It's too late now.
I also would like to mention something that I feel like it's really memorable. For me, a memorable moment in this episode where Chucky was watching TV. All of a sudden these doll movies come on back to back. Like, obviously that was done on purpose for the little reference and the doll movies and everything, which I thought was funny. First he sees the boy, and he's just dragging these doll movies that come on. The Boy, Dead Silence, and Megan had came on the TV. And he's dragging these movies like none of those doll movies would have been anything without moi. And I really love that because it just makes it known that Chucky is classic. You know, he's always been a classic. He's classic. I don't know any other way to explain it. You know, he is I feel like he's one of the inspirations for most of these doll movies that have came out. You know, Annabelle. Chucky's definitely in his own lane because you can't really, like, I feel like you can't really compare, me being a Chucky fan, you can't really compare his franchise, him, to all the rest of these doll movies because they didn't get sequels, they never got a franchise, which he actually mentions in this scene. I thought it was really on point and it's very true and just amazing that he just pretty much made that known. Like, none of these movies can have the same effect that really Child's Play had on everyone when it first came out, obviously in the 80s. I wasn't born, of course, but I can see the effect because of just how real the effects were in Child's Play and how real how impactful the story was and scary and terrifying, how terrifying it was. So I just like that Chucky claimed his position. He claimed his throne. I'm the inspiration, okay? I'm the one that they look to. Chucky, of all characters, will let them know, like, that I was the first. Just let y'all know. I was the first.
I was the first. He just told me. I'm just translating. That's all I'm doing. I'm translating.
Also flips to the news channel and he sees Tiffany on death row and he's like kind of feeling sorry. He's feeling sorry for himself. And, you know, he's like, oh gosh, I want to die and I'm not going to see Tiffany. I've been wanting them to get back together for the longest, y'all. I love Chucky and Tiffany together. I actually don't. I mean, like, I like when they fight too because it's funny. It's hilarious. I'm not even going to lie. Everybody who's seen Bride of Chucky, we all know that their fights are hilarious. We know they're both but they're also very funny together too. They're very sweet but they are very weird and just quirky and crazy too, which adds to their characters. So I love that it feels like they're gravitating back to each other again because Tiffany, who's still in prison, but is still kind of finding ways to get herself up out of there. Chucky is calling Tiffany. It's a very sentimental exchange between them in this scene. They're very like sweet and soft. He literally told Tiffany that he loved her. I was like, wait a minute.
Pause.
Because I've never heard him say that to her. I mean, I'm sure he said it to her before, but obviously off screen, you know. But I've never heard him say that like in any of the movies. So to me, maybe it's weird that I was surprised. I mean, I guess because Chucky, he's not the kind of character who is known for showing love. Really, that's Tiffany's thing. Tiffany loves love. She's in love with just the plain idea of love. And the details are literally in her name. Her last name, Valentine. I mean, you can't get more literal than that. But he does love Tiffany, okay? I mean, obviously it shows, but there's other times where it doesn't. And so that's what kind of confuses the audience a little bit. It's also the fact that he's dying too. So of course he would want to let Tiffany know that he does love her. She definitely pep talks him too into like not giving up on himself in this scene. I thought that was just, I was shocked that Tiffany was pep talking him the way she was, like saying like, don't give up, Chucky. Don't you want to go down as the greatest serial killer of all time? She's really pep talking him here, and I guess that helped him a little bit. They gave him a little boost. Jake and Devin, they take their relationship to the next level in this episode, which I was kind of expecting already. I mean, I feel like it was foreshadowed in part 1, 2. So season 3, part 1. So I kind of saw it coming, but about the scene where they're in the hotel, which by the way, I don't know how they're in the hotel either. Like, did they pay for the hotel?
Where are they getting money from?
And that's kind of what's like boggling my mind here. Like these kids, they're literally still teenagers. How are they able to pay for hotels?
Someone please make it make sense. I don't understand.
they're having hot relations in this hotel, and I like them together. I do. They really do. You can tell they really do care about each other, and they love each other. But at the same time, I'm gonna be honest, I feel icky and weird to watch teenagers do it, because I mean, they were okay. It wasn't shown that they were actually, on camera, like full effect, them doing it, but it was definitely implied in the scene that they did it. I don't know how I feel about them, like watching them have sex. Like I don't know. Zachary Arthur and Jorgen Arnarsson, I hope I said his name right too. I don't want to screw up his name. They are teens in real life as well, and they're like playing teens, so it's like, I don't know. They seem very mature, so it's fine, I guess, but like I just don't know how I feel about watching that on screen or any movie or any, I don't know. But okay, it happened, so whatever. And they are in love. Anyway, when they leave this hotel room later, Devin, he actually mentions to Jake, he's like, no, maybe we should just stop following Chucky. And when he says this, I agreed right on. I was like, yes, Devin, you're absolutely right. Y'all should just stop following him. He said we should run away together, but I'm like, okay, how are y'all gonna run away? Y'all don't got no money. Or maybe y'all do, I don't know. But Jake, he's like, no, we cannot turn our back now. Okay, we're so close, and Chucky, he deserves to get everything that's coming to him, and we have to kill him, because he's messed up our lives and all this. And I'm like, okay, I get that. Y'all do not understand how freaking insane Chucky is. Y'all do
not understand it.
Even on his deathbed, he's still dangerous. Even on his deathbed, he is still
he's still gonna kill you.
I'm scared. When I feel like just him saying that, just Devin kind of trying to talk Jake out of pursuing Chucky, and Jake pretty much like saying, no, we're gonna keep going. I feel like that was foreshadowing that there's something's gonna happen. Like something's definitely gonna happen. Leading into pretty much the finalization of this entire crazy, amazingly toned greatness of an episode. Chucky, he kills the president by the end of this episode. He kills him. I'm just gonna run down this death real quick. I feel like this death, Chucky killing the president, the way he kills him in this freaking episode. You guys, I have never been more
disturbed. This death was too
This death to me was off-putting. It was scary, and it was just, it actually, you know what, and I don't want to compare Chucky to this certain character that I'm about to I was gonna say Max Cady from Cape Fear. Cape Fear is with Robert De Niro. He plays this really crazy dude who's trying to kill his lawyer and get back at his family and all this, doing all these really, really disturbing things. But there's a scene in that movie where Max Cady bites a piece of her cheek off. Okay, there's a part. And that's exactly what Chucky does in this scene to the president. And that literally just, my mind just went there when he did that. And that was off-putting. That was really disturbing and scary. And then he gouged his eyes out. Okay, you guys, this death got a lot of points for me because it really felt real, because Chucky physically kills himself in the most maniacal way a person could kill somebody. Like, he uses his thumbs to gouge his eyes out. Are you hearing me right now?
Are you hearing me? Okay.
And I thought him shooting Teddy was disturbing because he did it so fast. But this was freaking gruesome, okay? This was gruesome.
This is gruesome.
He bit a piece of his face off. Like, and he spit it out. That's what's got, I don't know why I just hate that. Like, biting people's skin and then, like, flesh off. Like, you're an animal for that. You're an animal. No, Chucky showed his true animalistic side by the end of this episode, and I'm scared, you guys. Like, I feel like that was a great way to end it, though, because I didn't know that he would kill the president so soon. I thought maybe he, Devin Sawa would have a couple more episodes in, but apparently not. I have to give a lot of points to this death, because it really shook me. It took me, and a lot of the deaths of Chucky's take me there, but this one was just
really dark.
Because he physically did it himself. He physically killed him, like, with his little doll hands. I just don't know how to take that in and be like, Okay, another death. Like, no, that wasn't just another death of his. That was like Chucky saying, like, I'm dying, so what's the point? I'm gonna kill how I want to kill. Like, and he's been killing, but like he's kicking it up a notch. Like, he's definitely turning the crazy on max volume. Like, he's turning
the insanity on max.
He's cranking up the maniacal side of him. He's really cranking it up, and I appreciate that. I really like the makeup effects too with Chucky and how he looks as an aged old man doll. I'm telling you, whoever worked on the sculpting of Chucky in this episode, they need a raise because he looks so real and so scary. And honestly, he looks more scary as an old looking doll. He looks scary as that. Like, I would be more afraid to have an old looking good guy doll, like an old looking a grandpa Chucky doll in my room than this guy right here, this like young looking baby face Chucky right here. I would be more terrified, and I probably wouldn't even have him in my room. I'm so
serious right now, and I love Chucky.
I want so many different versions of him and so many different doll versions of him, but that version of him, he looks like the freaking Crypt Keeper, you guys, the Crypt Keeper. Ugh. But yeah, so we're reaching the end of this review. That's what I thought of this entire episode. I thought this episode was very great. I feel like it was a great setup for the rest of the episodes of this season, and I really hope it ends on a very good note. And when I say good note, I mean, like, I hope it ends like with just a little hope, you know, because I feel like things are just gonna go so left. I hope there's light at the end of the tunnel. Something tells me there isn't. But I'm scared, but I'm ready, but I'm not, okay? I feel like my feelings toward this episode and just what to expect, I don't know what to expect, you guys. So I'm not going to sit here and say, like, yeah, so that's going to happen. And I know I've been saying people going to die. Well, that's obvious. Some people are going to die. But, like, I'm saying I just don't know where the deaths are going to go and, like, how it's going to pan out. You know, I don't know how far these writers are going to take this story. So whatever happens, I'm down for it. I'm still down for reviews, and I will be glad to review more of these episodes with you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I wish I would have posted this earlier, but complications, you know, life, stuff happening. You guys get it. But I can't wait to share more of my reviews with you guys as these episodes continue. And another tidbit, I did hear that Don Mancini was planning on making another movie, which that's not new news to me really, because he's always mentioned that he wanted to make at least 2 more Chucky movies to finalize the franchise. But yeah, no, he's a new movie is in the works, which I'm excited for because I personally enjoy Chucky movies more. Not to say I don't like the series. I feel like the series is just different and unique and a different way to tell this story. There are others who have different opinions about this series and just where it's gone. And honestly, I feel like if you're a hardcore Chucky fan, you're really watching this show for Jennifer Tilly, Brad Dourif, and Fiona Dourif, and even Alex Vincent and Christina Lees. I mean, I feel like that is the main reason why most people are watching this, because we love Chucky and Tiffany, we love Andy and Kyle, and hopefully we see some more blasts from the past, some new faces from the past.
Karen Barkley, Chris Sarandon, Detective Mike Norris.
So I feel like that's who I would really like to see in the future. And you guys just leave in the comments, who would you like to see? Who would you like to see in future installments of Chucky and within this franchise? Who would you like to see come back in the flesh, you know, kind of joining the gang? Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos of mine. And yeah, I will see you all in the next review. Say bye, Chucky. Nah, he's waving like that because his poor old heart is withering. His poor old heart is withering. Sonny. God dang it, Chucky. What are you... Oh my God. I thought you said you didn't want to lay down. Okay, you want to lay down now. All right, fine. Fine. Here.
God.
He's so bossy, you guys.
He's so bossy.
It's insane. Like, dude. relax.
Okay, gotcha.
I just made me lose my train of thought. Okay.